I want to see 4 to 5 things before I take entry. I want to see a break of structure. I want to see an imbalance. I want to see a liquidity and an order block. Hello guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. In today's video, I want to show you a trade I took yesterday on GBP CHF. So yesterday, if you are fortunate to watch my previous video on this channel where I analyze USD CHF for a sell. So we're basically waiting for USD CHF to come into our area of concentration. But unfortunately, USD CHF refused to come to our area of concentration. Instead, it continued to drop lower. So that's not an issue, because when it comes to trading, you cannot be 100% right every time. So we waited for USD CHF. USD CHF was unable to come to that area of concentration, which is very fine. We do not need to chase after every setup. So I just had to leave USD CHF. And yesterday, while I was on my desk in my office, so I need to take up my system and just run through 1 or 2 pairs. Then I found this nice setup on GBP CHF, and that setup meets with every criteria which I had liked to see before taking a trade. I would like you to watch this video, which I am going to project after this one, so that you can see when I am trying to take the trade. Hello guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If probably you watched the last video which I shared on my YouTube channel, you will remember this USD CHF setup which I analyzed yesterday. But unfortunately, USD CHF fails to come into our area of concentration, where I am probably expecting price to tap into before dropping to the downside. So as you can see on my screen, you will observe that USD CHF has been dropping without tapping us in. But the juicy aspect of it is, this morning I decided to go on my trading view and look for another pair to trade in. Then that is when I found this nice setup on GBP CHF. As you can see on GBP CHF, I already have this setup running. I can literally show you guys on my, as you can see, this is the trade running on my small account. So as you can see from the video which you just finished watching, you can see that I really do take the trade, and that was actually when I was trying to take the trade on my phone. So I analyzed the trade on my phone, and I was able to go in on the GBP CHF sell setup. So now I will walk you guys through on my laptop reason behind me taking this GBP CHF sell entry and what makes it an A+ setup for me. So without wasting much of your time guys, let's get straight on my screen, where I am going to show you the reason why I took that GBP CHF sell entry. This is the analysis on GBP CHF that is going to show you guys the reason why I took the sell entry on GBP CHF. So yesterday when I came to this chart, I walked down straight to daily time frame on GBP CHF, and on GBP CHF on the daily time frame, I saw this displacement to the downside, and all this happens to be a reversal. And I noticed something from the reversal. I noticed that there's a market structure shift at this point here, and that market structure shift left behind an imbalance here. So my expectation is price will continue to drop lower up to this point, or to our final destination, which happens to this point, to be this point. So I haven't understand that we are in a bearish phase on GBP CHF. then I go to 4-hour time frame, and this is basically how I trade. So on getting to 4-hour time frame, I saw this break of structure here to the downside, and there's this mitigation of this imbalance to the downside, and I saw another push and a break to the downside. So already this is giving me a confirmation that we are still in a bearish phase on the 4-hour time frame. So on the 4-hour time frame, I do not see any reason to mark out a specific area of concentration here, but I know from the bias on daily time frame that we are pretty much bearish. So I now went down straight to 1-hour time frame. So when I got to 1-hour time frame, after getting this imbalance, this mitigation of imbalance from 4 hours, I saw all this push, and price was apparently at this point here. So I noticed this break of structure to the upside, which happens to be this point, this break of structure to the upside, and I noticed this change of character here, and there is this gap. There's this gap here, which happens to be a kind of inducement, because if you look at the gap, you will see that price eventually came inside of this gap at this point here, mitigate it, and give a kind of leg to the downside, as if price is ready to go to the downside. But to me, I know this is just an inducement, and just like I have said, there are one or two things which I want to see before I am going to take any entry. Firstly, I want to see a break of structure either to the upside or to the downside, depending on the structural bias. And for the GBP CHF, the structural bias is to the downside, so I need to see a break of structure to the downside, and this is the break of structure to the downside. And after seeing a break of structure to the downside, that break of structure must have an imbalance, and which I can see here. I saw this unmitigated imbalance, and I saw this other block here. So I know that definitely there's going to be a retracement inside of this imbalance. And another thing which I love to see is, before the imbalance, there needs to be a liquidity point. So a liquidity that price is going to sweep to go inside of the imbalance or the other block before I am going to take my trade. And apparently I found all this stuff there. I found a break of structure, I found an imbalance, I found a liquidity, and I found an order block. So my expectation is for price to come inside of any of this area of concentration. So if price will come to inside of this area of concentration, then I'll be looking for opportunity to go pretty much bearish. And this is one of the reasons why I took this sell trade. So I had to set my pending order close to this imbalance. As you can see, this is my first pending order. This one here is my first pending order. So I set my pending order very close to the imbalance, because sometimes price would not even get inside of the order block and price will start rejecting to the downside. So I set my sell limit order inside or very close to the imbalance, and eventually price came inside, tapped me in, and continued to go to my order block. The reason why I also stack this inside entry is because I can see a rejection block at this point here. There's a rejection point inside of the order block, so I am expecting price to still move inside of this order block and rejection block, since price fails to respect this imbalance. So my expectation is, since price has failed to respect this imbalance, price will definitely go inside of this order block or even extend to this rejection block area. And that is apparently what price does as at yesterday. And that's the reason why when I set my pending order inside of this imbalance, I put my stop loss above this high here, above this rejection block. And as you can see, price mitigated the order block and also the rejection block, and we started seeing a drop to the downside. So inside of this order block, when I saw price going inside, I already put another pending order inside of it. So meaning that from this one setup, I have 2 entries inside of this setup. So, and that's the reason why I was able to catch this sell entry from this point up to this point here. Although I am expecting this price to get to this point or get to this point, but as at yesterday, I exited out of this trade from this point here. Like I said, I want to see 4 to 5 things before I take entry. I want to see a break of structure. I want to see an imbalance. I want to see a liquidity and an order block. So when I have all this stuff, I'm going to execute my setup fearlessly by setting my pending orders at the appropriate area of concentration, and that is what makes this GBP CHF entry an A+ setup for me. So I am going to see you guys in my next subsequent video. Enjoy the rest of your trading day and peace out, guys.